Welcome back to another episode, and Happy New Year from YFM Sports. It's your big homie Wayne, and this is only built for wrestler Rinx. Thank you guys so much for tuning in for the new year. I told you I was going to have some new episodes, and here we go. We are in it, and we are at it. And what better way to start off this year and to start off a new array of episodes on YFM Sports Network than to talk about what happened on Raw the other night. Rocky came back. The Rock has returned. Well, kind of. He showed his face, not to say that he's fully going to return, right? But I will say this, real quick. It was great to see Rock, but it was even greater to not know that he was coming. I did not know The Rock was going to show up. When Triple H put that tweet out saying that a WWE champion was coming tonight on Raw, I thought it was Batista. I thought Batista was going to be put into the Hall of Fame later on this year during WrestleMania, so I thought he was going to show his face. And we both were wrong. It was actually Jinder Mahal, which I thought was a great swerve, man. I thought that was wonderful. Shout out to everybody, Triple H backstage. I did not see that coming. But like I said, I didn't see The Rock coming either. And I want to say, we got to stay off the internet. We got to stay off of Square Circle, off Reddit, because wrestling is so much better when you don't know what's happening. And I actually went on Square Circle after the whole situation happened. And yeah, there are some people who knew that The Rock was going to be there. Like there's a wrestling company called Fightful Select. They knew that The Rock was going to show up. I had no idea, and it made it so much better. When I saw Jinder Mahal come out, I was like, oh, wow, cool little swerve, right? Because I like Jinder myself personally. But then when The Rock's music hit, I was at work watching this, and verbally I was like, yo, because I didn't know your boy was going to be there. So sometimes you just got to stay offline. Sometimes we got to stop ruining wrestling for each other. And all the time, it just makes it that much better. And it came out better too, man. So it was good to see The Rock back. One thing I will say about The Rock is if you watch the video from the other night, he was out of breath. So The Rock is swole to the gills. His eyeballs got muscles. His eyebrows got muscles. He is not ring ready at all. Rocky is not ring ready. I've heard a lot of wrestlers say you could be as ready and swole as much as you want, but there's just that ring rust. If you're not ready for the ring, man, it's gonna show. And all Rock did was took a couple of hits from Jinder Mahal, and he also, he did the rock bottom on Jinder, and he was out of breath, man. He could not take it. He couldn't handle it. So, hey, Rocky, if you're going to do this, if you're going to be back in WrestleMania, if you want to be at the head of the table, you got to get back in ring shape, buddy. So speaking of that, let's talk about that. Rocky, I really love what he said last night after he had a little American tirade with Jinder Mahal. USA, I know. Everybody always falls for it. But what he said, I love, man. And I didn't see it coming. That's why I know it's going to be a great year in wrestling. I did not see that coming. So Rocky goes, I'm going to go and get something to eat. Should I sit at the booth? Should I sit at the bar? Or should I sit at the head of the table? Man, that was a beautiful line. That was a beautiful line, and it gave me goosebumps just hearing it. And I don't even want to see Rock and Roman that much. I'd rather see like Roman and Cody again, or Roman and somebody else, But after that, I think I'll be ready for another Rock WrestleMania match against Roman. But Roman has to win. Rocky cannot be the one to dethrone Roman. I don't like the old guard coming in to crush the new guard. If they're going to do it at WrestleMania, let Roman beat Rocky. Either way, good to see Rock. Oh my God, man. I completely forgot. Y'all, please forgive me. I have the greatest producer, rapper, master of all trades of all time. Jimmy B. Fearless, my producer, is on the other end, man. He'll be chiming in every once in a while too, man. Fearless, jump in, man. Say what's up to the people, dog.
What's good? Happy New Year's to everybody. I don't want to see Roman versus Rock personally. I want to see Cody versus Roman, but we'll talk about that a little bit more later. Again, because I think the face deserves to be the face. You heard me? Well, go ahead.
Agreed. Yeah. So since we're talking about WWE, let's go ahead and do a brief rundown of Raw. The day one. I thought it was fine. CM Punk wasn't there. I guess he taking some, the New Year off. That's fine. Cody didn't fight. He just, made an appearance. and they had a tag team match with Imperium and Jey Uso and Kofi Kingston. So I want to say shout out to Kofi Kingston for looking like he left his ring gear at home and just resting in some Nike basketball shorts. Right? Because I'm like, yo, man, you had to put that on right before you came out. That can't be like your new look, you know? But either way, Giovanni Vinci from Imperium, I think he caught a concussion, so they had to end the match. And Jey Uso was visibly upset because he wanted to get his licks in. But I think that was just for show. I think everybody was really worried about Giovanni Vinci. He already tweeted saying that he was okay. But yeah, it was a drop kick done by Kofi Kingston, and it kind of knocked him off his rocker, and they had to end the match there, which is good. You know, this isn't the day of old where the show has to go on. You know, in the match, everybody understands. We get it. Put another match on real quick if you want to, or just, you know, let's move on. You know, we want to make sure that Giovanni can continue to wrestle throughout his career, and, you know, fighting through a concussion wouldn't have been a good thing. So shout out to him. I hope he's doing well. We can always do a rematch of this some other time. Also, I don't care for Nia Jax. I don't want to see her. I didn't want to see her back then. The only time I ever cared for Nia Jax was a few years ago when she fought Alexa Bliss at WrestleMania. And that was only because they were doing the whole, oh, you're fat and I'm pretty and you're ugly, and I didn't like that whole thing. But Nia Jax is a problem, not a good problem. But she did beat Becky Lynch last night. I didn't see that coming. But fine. Can she go now? There's nothing to Nia Jax that I want to see at all, you know. But fine. And I'm not even a big Becky fan either, you know. I'm not a big Becky Lynch fan. I think Becky Lynch is kind of, you know, she doesn't hit hard enough for me. I need that hard hit. Plus, nobody's better than Charlotte. Charlotte's the best wrestler in WWE, man or female. And Becky just doesn't do it for me. But y'all go ahead and y'all can have at it. Nothing bad, is, you know, it's just not for me. And also we had the main event. The main event was Drew McIntyre versus Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship. I think I went in thinking that Drew McIntyre was going to win. I kind of feel like he should have won. It's a lot of shenanigans going on. Either Drew should have won or they should have let Damian Priest cash in. That would have been great. That would have been a great way to start off the year. But it's too close to WrestleMania, and I think they want to put out they want to cash their chips on with Seth, and having him go into WrestleMania with the championship. Don't know who he's going to fight yet, but they would have had the title on him, which is fine. I understand that. Like I said, it was kind of a mediocre Raw to me. I didn't like a lot of the matches. I did love seeing The Rock come back, though. And like I said, I love that line. Okay, real quick, I'm going to talk about my best matches of 2023. I just watched one the other day, and that was in TNA or Impact, whichever you want to call it, Speedball Mike Bailey versus Will Ospreay. I'm really starting to love Will Ospreay. I'm really starting to see his whole deal. You know, when he does like that hidden blade, that elbow, when he just runs it, huge. I love it so much, man. This is my first time watching a Speedball Mike Bailey match. That dude is incredible. That dude is sharp. He is pinpoint. He's a martial arts specialist, it seems. Great wrestler, man. I love it. You know me, I love spots. I'm not one of these old heads who are like, oh, you're doing too much spots. You're a spot monkey, blah, blah, blah. Great match. Will Ospreay ended up winning. Y'all can find it on YouTube if you haven't watched it yet. If you disagree with me, leave some comments down below. Let me know what you think. In WWE, my favorite match of 2023 was KO and Sammy versus the Judgment Day in the street fight at Payback. That was an awesome match. WWE matches don't really make me, I don't really get the feels for them anymore. You know, like when I watch Speedball Mike Bailey and Will Ospreay, the whole time I'm like, oh, yo, and oh, look at that. Watch out. The AEW always does that for me. I never get that in WWE anymore. That was the one match that had me like, yo, KO, Kevin Owens is the greatest. KO, he is just one of the best. And they need to go ahead and put the strap on him and stop, make him do these tag team matches with Sami Zayn. Like, we know anytime we need a good match, you can put them together or you could make them go against each other, and we know we're going to get quality. They both solidified themselves as main event contenders let's treat them like main event contenders. You know, let's start putting some titles on them again, real titles. But I'm sure that's not going to happen until after WrestleMania. WrestleMania is already kind of in the books right now. That's my favorite match in WWE for last year. And AEW, come on, man. Hangman and Swerve too. Swerve hung Hangman, bro. He hung Hangman. He didn't just do that for him. That was for us. That was like 600, 700, 1,000 years of oppression, and he hung Hangman, and he did it with the strength of his ancestors. You know what I mean? The only thing that I hate about that is that he did it to Hangman, and Hangman, he's a good dude. He's an ally. You know, Fearless, I don't know if you knew this, but before Hangman was a wrestler, he was a teacher, an elementary school teacher. He's really an ally towards the black community. If he was going to hang somebody, I would have loved to see him hang Chris Jericho, since Chris Jericho is MAGA. I'm sorry if that's how y'all feel. I mean, I'm sorry, y'all. I just don't get down with the MAGA crowd as much as I love Chris Jericho. You know, like, he's donated money to Trump and everything. That's it. That's who he rocks with. I would have loved to see Swerve give Jericho a hanging. But either way, the match was incredible. The match was off the charts. Hangman and Swerve too. Both of their matches were. But yeah, that has to be my match of the year for AEW. If not, the close second to me would have been the Iron Man match between MJF and Bryan Danielson. That was a great match as well. But either way, those were my matches of the year. You guys take the time out to go and watch those matches. Watch Hangman drink Swerve's blood and spit it out like it was a fucking beer, like Stone Cold Steve Austin was drinking or something. It was absolutely incredible and horrifying at the same time. Y'all go and check that out, man. Fearless, if you haven't seen that match yet, find it. I'll definitely send you the Speedball Mike Bailey. I was actually going to send it to you last night, but sometimes I don't think it's something that you'll be interested in. But I'm going to send it to you tonight, man. Hopefully you'll take a few minutes out to watch it to see why I liked it so much.
Yeah, I want to see somebody spit out some blood, so why not? Go ahead, hook it up.
Yeah, no doubt. I'll let you know. So, awesome. All right. So, I also want to talk about, now that The Rock is back, where we're going for WrestleMania real quick. Like I said, I don't want to see Rock and Roman really, but I'll watch it. We were just talking about this before, Fearless and I wouldn't mind seeing a 4-way match between Rock, Roman, Punk, and who else? Who was the other person? Rock, Roman, Punk, and Cody. That 4-way match may be pretty cool. We haven't seen a 4-way championship match, and correct me if I'm wrong in the comments below, y'all, since WrestleMania 2000, where Triple H won that match. I would love to see another 4-way match. I'm pretty sure it's going to be Punk and Seth. And I also feel if it is Punk and Seth at WrestleMania, that they don't need the title for that. So maybe if they have Seth lose, that's going to be another reason why I wanted Drew McIntyre to win the other night on Raw. Drew McIntyre can take that championship into WrestleMania and fight Gunther. That would be an incredible WrestleMania match. And then Punk and Seth, you don't need a championship for that. But I do know that Punk wants the main event. He wants the main event for the championship, win or lose, you know. But I don't think you need a title for that. That kind of leaves everybody else up in the air. If you have Rock and Roman for WrestleMania, what the hell is everybody else gonna do? You know what I mean? Like, cause what is Cody gonna do? Is Cody gonna fight? Is Cody gonna fight Gunther? Is Cody gonna fight Drew McIntyre? I feel like his story hasn't been completed yet. But I also feel if you do like a 3-way match or a 4-way match with Rock and Roman, it kind of puts a damper on Cody's story, so to speak. You know what I mean? So there's that whole thing. But like I said, Triple H and the writers have a lot of work that they have to do before WrestleMania. Royal Rumble is a few weeks away. Who's going to win that? That's up in the air now. I kind of thought the winner would be Cody again. I kind of felt like the winner would be Logan Paul. Now that The Rock is back, maybe he'll win. I don't know. Maybe they just may throw a monkey wrench in the whole thing. And I don't know, have Sami Zayn win. That would be cool too. We'll see. Fearless, who would you like to see main event WrestleMania? What would you like to see? What match would you like to see?
I want to see Cody versus Roman.
Okay.
But the 4-way also seems like it would be super dope. And it seems like it would be like a 35-minute match and it would be like an endurance test. I would love to see that. But I still would think if they did the 4-way, then Roman's still going to be champion. right?
Yeah, I think so. He should be.
He would still be champion. So I would love to see Cody versus Roman straight up, but I don't think that the story has been built. Instead of it just not enough. It's just going to be like, oh well, he's the face, so why not? And now with the fact that he's like a champion anyway, does he really need to be like the heavyweight world undisputed whatever champion it is? Like Cody doesn't have to do that. He's still the face. Everybody know Cody. Mm-hmm. People know Roman, but everyone knows Cody, like outside of wrestling. So I want to see him versus Cody again, but like I said, the story's not built up, so it will be kind of like a throwaway, kind of how like The Rock versus Roman is. There's no reason for them to wrestle. Mm-hmm. Like there's no story. It's just The Rock, and we're all going to accept it because it's The Rock.
Yeah. Well, they can create the story now, and 4 months. 4 months is a good enough time.
That's a long time.
Yeah, to construct the story. But they always say, some of the past writers, Bruce Pritchard used to be a writer. He still is a writer for WWE. He says that you don't need a championship to be the face. Dusty Rhodes never had the championship. There's a lot of wrestlers
for a while.
Yeah. A lot of people have been the face and they don't need a championship. So you're right in that aspect, but it does help.
Yeah, I think it helps with the fans, but it doesn't help with the casuals. Like the casuals will be like, oh, he's the champion, but it doesn't. The casuals don't care. The casuals just know, like, oh, we know Cody. Mm-hmm. Like I'm a casual, right? And I'm okay to say that I'm a casual. So I don't know like all of the super duper ins and outs, nor do I care about like who's the champion. I just know who's the most popular person. And when I think about wrestling, who do I think of? And I always think of Cody.
Yeah. Okay. I see. And I think that's where they kind of want you at now. Because we can't keep having these old wrestlers come back. We need some new fresh meat.
And we got a lot of fresh meat. We got LA Knight. LA Knight's probably gonna be champion one day.
He should be champion. Yeah, he should be champion sooner than later, I think, because LA Knight's they put emphasis on this. They care about this. He's a little older. I think he may be 40.
LA Knight's 40?
Yeah. I think he's definitely in his 30s, his late 30s for sure. But he looks incredible. He looks great. He's over as hell. Everybody loves him. So
man, I think loves LA Knight.
If not the championships, the heavyweight championships, they should put like an intercontinental championship or something like that on.
I'm surprised he doesn't have something already, but I get it because this is like you got Seth and you have a lot of big names in my opinion, and it's cool to keep bringing back The Rock and bringing back the old days, but like because they can still wrestle. Yeah. But eventually you got to get over this shit because they're not going to be bringing back Roman all the time. He ain't that popular. But they're going to probably always bring back Cody because they always brought back Dusty. They didn't fuck how the old Dusty was. Like Dusty was wrestling in 2000s.
Yeah, I think Cody. If Cody stays with WWE, then yes, he will be back. They will be the person that they constantly bring back. He always will do it. It's kind of like I think Cody is very much of a Cena type person. Like Cena will always be back. Mm-hmm. If he never wrestles, if he's doing a movie 900 miles away,
Cena
he'll still he'll show his face. But Cena's always been like that. Cena says like, "Yo, this is my number one home. I'll always be here," and he always does come back. But okay, let's run over to real quick. I don't know if you knew this or not yet. Let's go to AEW. AEW just had World's End, their pay-per-view of a couple last week. Where MJF, he finally lost his AEW championship after over a year of being AEW champion. He lost to Samoa Joe, where it was a different ending where he passed out. So there's this thing in wrestling. I don't know if you know, Fearless, where when you're in a chokehold or you're being choked, they do this thing in wrestling where the referee lifts your arms and then take it down. If you do that 3 times,
I remember that. You got it.
Yeah, you're out. You're done. And it happened 3 times because it never happens 3 times. It's like 1, 2, and that 3rd time you do the whole little and you kind of get yourself back up. MJF and it was so shocking. It was so shocking when he just dropped his arm. Because even the ref was like, oh, shit. And he was like, okay, ring the bell. It's over. Like, and the whole crowd was just like, what? Because that never happens. And you never expected Samoa Joe to win the AEW championship, because just like all the matches, all the different people, Bryan Danielson in the Iron Man match, Jay White, Hangman, he beat everyone. And Samoa Joe, you just didn't expect him to lose to Joe, right? But it was every year they do something that involves the devil. And the devil is this character who kind of masks themselves, you know. And this year he had a bunch of henchmen, and the devil ended up being Adam Cole, who was, you know, right next to MJF. They had won the Ring of Honor Tag Team Championships. They hated each other earlier in the year, and they slowly became friends because they had to work with each other. And sure enough, man, Cole stabbed him in the back and screwed him over. We didn't see that coming at all. Well, again, stay off the internet, because I didn't see that coming either. When Cole came out right after MJF's entrance, I was like, that's it. Cole is the devil. Cole's the devil. And sure enough, he was, man. So that was a little shocking. And now MJF's going to take some time off. And MJF definitely needs some time off. He needs to rehab and get his body back in order.
Yeah, I think he's
scary.
Going hard. He's going hard for so long. So he does. It's cool. And Samoa Joe is popular. No one expected it, but that makes it fun. So maybe Samoa will keep it for a while, then somebody else will whoop his ass. And then they can, you know, we get MJF come back strong. A couple months. Fuck everybody up and continue that reign. But you know, me, I'm a big proponent of him going to WWE.
Why?
I know that sounds messed up. It's kind of like how people be like, you should I don't know. I don't really have a good example anymore in like rules, like in actual, like, I don't have any good examples, but it's kind of like you going from one company to another company, be like, oh, this is an upgrade. It's not like AEW is the minor leagues, but it is a smaller company. And I feel like, you know, that heel persona that he has, which he's always going to be the heel. He's like, really is an asshole. I feel that'd be perfect in WWE, but he can stay in AEW. I just would like to see him do that personally. I want to see him fight LA Knight. I want to see him fight. I mean, he seems like he'd be a perfect jerk off for the Judgment Day. Like, besides, they wear a lot of black.
So I think it'll feel weird, because here's my thing about seeing other wrestlers in WWE. WWE's presentation is very different. When you have like a TNA and the AEW, it kind of looks as if they can do what they want, in a sense, you know, like Tony Khan trusts them to go out there and put their own match together and go out there and just have a great time and, you know, wrestle. WWE is like more constructed, you know what I mean? They're like, this is, you know, you have to do this in this time, and we only have a certain amount of time to do this, and it's presented differently. And I don't know if I'm sure MJF can adapt. I just don't see how he would fit in WWE, especially with the things that he says. He has so much freedom in AEW. I don't feel like he's going to have that. I know he's not going to have that same amount of freedom in WWE, man. And I just feel like his whole aura, his whole persona is going to be under a microscope. But I think they will sign him. They will sign him, and they will give him big bucks, and they're going to push him. And another thing I'm afraid of too is him going to NXT, because you know a lot of people, a lot of times they take these independent wrestlers and they put them in NXT to kind of.
You can't put him in NXT.
I don't think so, because he doesn't need it. He doesn't need it. You know what I mean?
He doesn't need to go to NXT. Not saying it. You know, I love NXT. I'm not saying anything's wrong with NXT, but those are for guys like. This is a good example of it. All right, so I'm independent, right? So let's say, like, you know, my album coming out January 19th, free lunch, baby, bam. Let's say that does like 150,000 streams first week, right? For the album. In comparisons, that's not a lot. In comparison to like, you know, Nicki Minaj, who has 250,000 units per week. That's a lot more streams. That's album streams. So that's like millions and millions and millions of streams, right? Okay. So she signed to a major record label, right? Me, I'm independent. If someone offered me a development deal or a 360 record deal and I, you know, take it, it makes sense for me because I still got to build up a name. I'm not as big as Nicki Minaj or any other artist.
Right.
MJF is going to bring his own fan base with him. So why would you put him on a developmental circuit? He's ready for the big boys. He has to talk. He knows how to wrestle. We know him, and a lot of people, I would say 90% is going to follow him to see who he fucks up in WWE. Mm-hmm. So it just doesn't make sense for them to put him in NXT. If he was coming from New Japan or some shit, then I was like, okay, I got you. Or maybe, a very small, another independent. I got you. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But nah, he's on TV, bro. Like he makes like the news.
Yeah. Right.
So nah, he makes major news. Like he's on page 6 and shit, doing shit and pissing off little black kids. So you don't do that. You put him on the big time. You put him on Raw and see what happens. That's in my opinion. If I ran the company.
Word. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So that's a great way to look at it. I kind of view it the same way. It'll be a waste to put him there, and just put him on TV, like you say. At least he'll either float or flounder. And I think he'll do extremely well. I just think it's kind of like seeing Cody in WWE after a while. It's he'll be fine because he's already been there, but it's just he's been presented differently for a while. And and just like MJF is like, are they going to allow MJF to keep his name? Are they going to make him switch it? Are they going to give him the Cody treatment and let him keep everything? Just like, you're fine the way you are, just come on over.
And they that's what happens, man. When you join those big companies, back to the music example, you join those big companies, they'll be like, oh, you got to switch your style up, you got to work this producer, you got to do these features, you need to talk about this album should be about this, we like this song better, the algorithm says the song is better. It's all of that shit because they're trying to make money. They give 1% about the fans because the fans are who watch. But eventually the fans are just going to watch just because they're going to watch. And that's the thing you always worry about. Do they care about the name of the person, or do they care about the brand? Do they care about WWE, or do they care about Roman Reigns and The Rock? That's what you
so
away.
Now, that's the point that Punk was making years ago when he left WWE the first time. He's like, The Rock isn't the main event. Special or WrestleMania is the main event, not The Rock.
Yep.
And I'm like, that's not necessarily true, because if you go back in WrestleMania history, Muhammad Ali was there. Cyndi Lauper played a big role in it. Bam Bam Bigelow and Lawrence Taylor was a match at WrestleMania. They always have like some celebrity that comes in and does something, or it's WrestleMania that's the draw. But when it's what the match is in WrestleMania, that matters as well.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta. It's not about you. Like, it's not about you, big homie. You are a fan. You're gonna watch no matter what, even if the shit is trash. It's like, I love boxing. It's one of my favorite sports of all time. Or I love football. I'm gonna watch this shit no matter who the fuck is playing. My team, the Browns, went 0-16. I watched every game in tears while we lost every game. You know what I'm saying? No matter who was on the team, we lost every game. But it is like, hey, if we get Aaron Rodgers on the Browns, I'm gonna watch even more. But I'm still gonna watch. They're talking about the casuals, because now people are going to watch the casuals because Aaron Rodgers is out there. So that's going to bring in another million people to watch. So if The Rock does go to WrestleMania, it's not just going to be the wrestling fans. It's going to be people that watch his movies, people that just think he's beautiful, people that like just watching different like shit. It's going to be something that's memeable. People going to make reels. That's what people got to remember. And that's what's going to sell. So CM Punk is right and wrong at the same time.
Yes, exactly. And he was also a little bitter at that time. He was a little bitter, so I think he's much better now. Like he said, me and Triple H made up, and Triple H used to hate Punk. Like Punk was on top, Triple H used to hate it.
I bet he did. I mean, he's a company.
On some hater shit. You know what I mean? Just like,
right. He had no reason, he just hated it.
So but yeah, man, that is all I got for today. Please like and subscribe, y'all, because I'm going to be doing this. Well, Phyllis is going to be here as well. I'm going to be doing this a few times a week. I'm not a big NXT fan. I don't like how it's been presented over the past few years. I'm a black and gold NXT guy. I watch that through and through. It hasn't been the same since the pandemic. But so I guess if I gotta watch NXT and I'll watch it for you guys. Either way, you got Trick Williams who's doing his thing. I feel like he's about to win the championship soon, and that's going to cause a lot of discord between him and Carmelo Hayes. They're already kind of butt heads, but shout out to Trick. Whoop that Trick. He's about to do his thing. Like I said, we're going to be here for a few times a week. I'm going to bring you all the wrestling news that I can possibly watch and let you guys know about. So there will be TNA. Impact is going back to TNA this year. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about SmackDown, of course, AEW, all the AEW shows. I love AEW, so we're definitely going to be talking about that and what their future looks like for the championship, for the rest of the wrestlers. I can't wait for it. So yeah, man, y'all like and subscribe if you're a wrestling fan. If your mom is a wrestling fan, like and subscribe. Only built for wrestling Rinx on YFM Sports. Just thank you guys so much for the time. And like I said, let everybody know about it, because this is what we're going to be doing. This is where we're going to be. Every pay-per-view, everything, man. Like every title defense, we are going to talk about it. We are going to be here, and we are going to give you our opinion. But most importantly, we want to hear your opinion too. Peace to y'all. We love you guys, man. Thank you guys for watching. Please tell us what you think. We love to hear your comments. I love to hear your comments. I love to read your comments, man. If I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong, and we can debate and talk about it, But that's it. That's all I got for the beginning of the year. You guys have a happy new year. Have a happy wrestling new year. And we're going to talk about it, man. Royal Rumble in a few weeks. Elimination Chamber after that. And then, of course, we got the great WrestleMania. So tune in, man. We got a lot going on. Thank you guys. It's the big homie Wayne. This has been Only Built for Wrestling Rinx on YFM Sports. Thank you guys.